we're thankful for the time we have together this evening to work together. We're thankful for those that commit their time to work together, not only tonight, but the time that they spend working for this community, this town, the time that they spend away from their families. I pray that this town will always be something that we are proud of, and that we can brag on this town and be the example that it should be. We're also thankful for your son and his sacrifice. We pray that we'll always be put you first in everything we do, look to you for guidance. We ask this prayer in your son's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have two meetings for meeting approvals, August the 8th and August the 21st. Everyone had time to look over those minutes. Anything need to be changed or modified? And if not, I entertain a motion to approve minutes for both of these meetings. Commissioner Tillman?
Yes.
Commissioner Moss? Yes. Communications from the mayor. I just want to let everyone know, I'm sure most people in this room, we lost a loving citizen of the city of South Pittsburg this past week. Bob Sherrill's heart belonged to this town. He loved it, I think, more than anybody did. So, with that being said, City Hall will be closed tomorrow and the library at 1. Is that correct?
Both of them will be closed at 1. So we can
Funerals at 2. And I'll ask everybody if they will keep Miss Patsy Sherrill in their thoughts and prayers the next week as the months to come.
And it's at Holly Avenue.
Holly Avenue Methodist Church, yes. Only other thing I have tonight is we have 2 positions that we're going to fill part-time: code enforcement, health, or I should say, an animal enforcement control.
Mm-hmm.
And Will has called Will Maynard and offered those positions to him. I think he's graciously accepted. So I just need a motion that we accept him for those 2 positions, please.
As well as supervisor.
As well as supervisor.
Right, 3 jobs.
That's
With
correct.
a $10,000 raise.
11.
11,000.
Commissioner Callahan?
Yes, because I have been told that because of several different people retiring, we do have money now that can be used to fund this. Is that correct, Mayor?
Well, we're going to find the money to fund this, correct?
I thought Russell retired,
Yeah.
Ronnie retired,
That's correct.
and Dusty retired.
Well, Dusty got fired, but yes.
Well, Dusty's no longer on the
Yes,
payroll, so
that's correct.
that should be able to cover this.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Commissioner Moss? Vice Mayor Stone?
Yes.
Yes. That's all I have. Vice Mayor Stone?
I don't have a whole lot. One thing I did ask again, if you could work on trying to get us an update. I know we talked about it today, in regards to the bike lane, walk lane. That way we talked about it.
Bike lane.
If we could try to get an idea, we could 90 days try to put a plan together to where we can make that a reality. I know a lot of people would love to see it happen, but hopefully we can forward. Also, you can please make a note to call, and also I'll call as well. We need to try to get a date from Mark in regards to the survey for all the GIS work.
Is the GIS work done, complete?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
We just haven't got, anything from Mark yet?
We haven't received anything. He has, according to the last message I received from him, he has actually received it from the surveyors. He's just been going through it. But as far as giving us any information, he hasn't provided anything yet.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I did forget something. I'm going to back up real quick. Travis at the radio station has asked for our help. He has been nominated, I think, to be on the stage as a host. Is that correct? At the Grand Ole Opry, which we have to vote, and he has to win. So I'm going to leave the instructions up here if everybody would come by, maybe, and take a moment, log on, cast your vote, so Travis can fulfill his bucket list. I think he made a great host.
Other copies of this, Vicki?
Back there, if you
Perfect, that's the one with the letterhead. That would be awesome.
Sorry about that. Mr. Cannon's not here. Commissioner Kellner?
Well, not to sound like a broken record, but I hope you got the message, Gene, that the 150th banner, the school board has okayed it to be hung back at the crosswalk at the high school where it was initially.
Well, yes and no. Yes, you did tell me that. When I went to the school to ask them about this, that banner is about 4 foot tall, and of course it goes across all 3 lanes. When you hang that up on that banister, you cover up those lights that's been installed on the walkway, and we were advised that they would prefer not to have that 150th anniversary blocking the lights across the walkway.
Can we not like lengthen the ropes a little bit to?
Well, there's no way to.
Because Mark didn't mention that to me.
There's no way to, see, you gotta put it up with zip ties at the top and the bottom. If we hang it from the bottom, to keep the lights going, then the bottom's gonna flop flat. That's why it's gotta go up, and both ends of it's gotta be tied down. When we went down there and measured it to look at it, when they built that bridge, there's actually lights that goes across it, and I think they changed colors, but for the most part, I think they've been staying red. So when you put that banner up, it blocks those lights.
So that's a new addition to that walkway?
Yes, ma'am. And their preference was not to block.
And that was the high school?
Yes, ma'am. To block the lighted pathway. Now, I did talk to the principal, Miss Hill, and she was actually supposed to get with Mark and tell him the problem we were having. I just need to follow up and see.
Is there any other use are the lights on both sides of the bridge?
Well, you see them
Another
on
place
both
we
sides.
could put
I
that
don't know really
banner?
if they're on both sides.
Yeah, they are.
I do know when I went down there at night to look at it,
Yeah, they're on
both sides. Are they on both sides?
Yeah.
You can't see it going north and south.
And they're orange, they're not red.
Well,
Of course.
They change color. They change colors.
So really, being honest about it, we're not gonna be able to utilize that banner.
If we can find a wall to put it on,
Oh, okay.
would be the biggest thing. Now I need a wall that's, what, about 50, I think that's 50 foot wide.
Mhm.
We could find a wall to put it on and tack it down.
Yeah, because we really can't put it closer down into town because of all the traffic lights and wires and all that, right?
The only other place that could be a suggestion, and I'll tell Kelly now that it's here that I have looked at, is the library. On the north side by Dixie Freeze, that big old long wall down
Yeah,
there.
by
that is not being
Valley
renovated.
Janitorial?
Yes. But that's probably the longest wall that the city owns. Now, we could ask some other people, see if they would mind, like, I don't know what Mr. Rogers would say, but if you look at the hooch right behind the drugstore, that's a big
Yeah.
old long wall. I don't
If
know.
that's where, I hate to spend the money on it, we can't.
Me too.
So Jim, do you see?
The easiest one is for us, we put it on our own building, it don't cost us anything. We have
That
to
would be
improve
great if it could be on the cornbread side of the hooch.
More traffic.
Okay.
Well, yeah, and then it's still up a couple of blocks from what we already have,
Yes,
which is the one down there by Biltwell.
yes.
Yeah, let's try to work on that, because we spent the money and we only got 3 months to go.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. Also, I've had somebody talk to me 3 times about this. It may not be the perfect spot to say it, but these big potholes up on Prospect. Someone sent me pictures. I had to miss the last meeting, but they were pretty deplorable. Have you heard about it?
Yes, ma'am,
They've been
that's,
complaining about it to you?
oh, yes. That's not a pothole patch, that's a pave the whole street. So we just have to put that in our street paving plan to see. I went up, Lisa asked me about it, and I went up to look at it to see if we could do some pothole patching. It's not actually, it is considered Prospect, but when you go up Third Street, it turns left, it goes down in dead ends to some apartments. So the street is not that long, but
the whole street's gotta be paved.
It was
not
bad.
just part of
Pictures
it.
I saw.
Well, it's bad. I
It's
agree.
really, really bad.
There's no way to pothole patch it.
Do
I
we
had
ever
to get
pave the whole
somebody to pave it.
street then?
Pardon?
Do we ever pave the whole street?
Well, we'd have to, and that's where
I
I
mean,
have to
that's
go to
like
county
way,
and
way
see if I
bad.
can get them to give us a bid on it.
Will you see, since it's so bad even before winter starts?
Yeah, have you seen it, Samantha?
Yeah.
It's
See, Corey
awful.
can give us a price on paving that one street.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you said Court? Pick.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay.
highway department. Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's
Right,
first
it's
name.
really
Yes.
bad.
But yeah,
Okay, anything else, Commissioner?
Well, I'd like to talk about Moore Park, but I know that's on Jean's list, and, I'd like to know about Robin Roy, the road conditions, because that's my district, but I'll wait until that time.
I did get an email today from Ashley where she did send it to, the company that we got the equipment from. She sent it about
Yeah.
11:30 and it was 4:30. I still haven't got anything. As a matter of fact, I was just now looking to see if I got anything, and there's still.
I mean, that's amazing, we're like 3 months behind.
Yes, and we got the equipment.
I
The
know
equipment's
it, we
sitting on,
have.
we're ready to put in, we're just waiting.
Okay, thanks for staying on that.
Commissioner Moss?
Just got one quick thing, had a request of doing potholes. Big potholes, in between Holly Mound and Fifty West
In the alley, yeah, okay. Okay. To Administrator Best.
Just a couple of things, Ms. Mayor, is, I want to give you I already gave you an update on Mill Park. We're just waiting, and I'm sorry for the people, I thought we would have had this thing already put
Yeah.
in, but,
3 months ago.
as I tell you, we got the equipment, we're waiting. Everything else is in place. The Armory update renovation on the Armory turned into a rec center. We finally did get something from the Nashville Dental Center. Who sent it to Bobby. Been talking with our architect and said, you know, they can do whatever they want, but it's still the same space. And that's what they're working on right now is for a new blueprint to kind of redo what they're asking for in the space that we give them. Last month we did we asked for some work to be done on the library roof. We got a we got a notification that it was in bad shape. I think they're done.
They are.
They're done, they
Yes, sir.
finished it. It took a while it just takes a while to get that rubber roof stuff in. But as soon as Charlie and them got it, they put it in, so it's ready to go. The only other one I just, at the very last minute, just came in, but wasn't really on the agenda, but I do need to go ahead and make an announcement so I can get a job posted. I received a resignation letter yesterday from Candy Lancaster resigning her position as city clerk. I'm making a recommendation that we accept that. And it's probably going to be 2 motions, but I need to make a recommendation that we accept it, then a recommendation that we go ahead and post the job and get it filled.
I'll move.
Commissioner Coleman?
Yes.
Commissioner Moss? Mary? Yes. You know, circle back around to Armory real quick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
I'm gonna circle back around to Armory real quick.
Okay.
They are holding us up on the whole renovation with the, waiting on them with the dental part.
That's correct.
Their space is as, we're going to proceed as is on our part, and then whatever happens in dental space, I don't have, because they cost us 2 months now, or 3,
Yeah,
actually.
they came in so late with another request.
So we can't wait on Nashville Dental to keep changing their plans, like you said,
Oh, well,
their
we got it, that's what
That's what I'm saying, their space is their space, it's not
It's
changing,
all-
it's not getting any bigger.
space not getting any
We're gonna
bigger.
proceed with what
That's
we're doing.
correct.
Okay.
And Mark did say, when he talked to the Nashville Dental, this is all they're gonna get. Nashville Dental said we'll make it work.
All right,
So we're ready to move forward with
good,
final plans.
okay, thank you. Please, Chief, got anything else?
I have one thing to add to the, my monthly report I sent out through email. The Blue House on
Yeah.
Second Street, I did receive a letter from the insurance company. It is still under investigation. He was cited into court. He did show up to court. That has been, just to give me time for them to finish that up. I don't know how much longer it's gonna take, but
The judge is giving the insurance company more time?
He has no choice. I mean, they're still investigating this.
Well, how does that, that's when, 7 months ago?
Their assistant attorney, you ask him,
How
I'm
did-
just telling
how
you
did
what.
that work?
Well, I think what the city would have to do would be to proceed under its slum clearance, what's called. Not necessarily the descriptive term for this particular piece of property,
Yeah.
but there are provisions under that part of the city's municipal code, which are adoptions of state laws that would allow the city to go through the process regardless of the insurance company's situation. Put the burden on the insurance company to clean up the property. We've talked briefly about it, but at the time we last talked about it, the court hearing hadn't been held yet, and I guess the judge hadn't given additional time to.
We don't have a choice, though. The insurance company's still investigating, are you allowed to go?
Well, I'm not sure that their investigation is not necessarily a law enforcement investigation. Is there any?
Yeah, what's the difference?
I don't know, it just says, the paper that was emailed to me from the insurance company says, still under investigation. I know that he comes down every so often, and pays one of my officers to keep the yard mowed now. Except it's been like a month, and it's getting too big for the officer to do for the amount of money, so we're gonna have to speed that up a little bit, but thank God, fall's coming along, and the grass is not gonna be growing that much anymore, but hopefully it won't be that much longer.
I know, you're so frustrated with that. This is absurd. So who does the slum clearance? Really?
Well,
Oh, yes.
it's going to be the chief, and it's also going to be Will under his new position, be a combination of those three positions once he gets involved from a code enforcement standpoint. And I'm going to bring up an issue about that under new business here in just a minute, but the chief and I talked about that earlier today. But it might be, chief, that we need to respond to the letter from the insurance company with some demand for a time frame.
Yes, sir. I was waiting tonight to ask us to open meeting so that we got it on the record of what we needed to do.
I'll get with you on that then.
Okay, yes, sir. I have one other thing, Mayor, that's not on anything. I'd like to recognize two of my officers. If y'all indulge me for just a minute. If I could have Officer Davis and Officer McNabb come to the front, please. As the board knows, I sent out a message to them, but on August the 31st, these two officers responded to a medical call regarding a mother in labor. Both officers, while arriving on the scene without hesitation, helped in the delivery of a baby girl. Your willingness to go above and beyond had been noticed, and I would personally like to thank you for your dedication to not only the citizens of South Pittsburg, but also to my department. I appreciate everything that y'all done, your hard work, and your loyalty. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it.
Right.
Deliver the baby.
Yeah. What about you, Janet? Okay.
I'm sorry, did I miss the question?
No.
Okay. That is all I have. Thank you.
Thanks. Fire department, Corey? Somebody here from Marion Natural Gas? Library, Kelly?
Hi, guys. I have a few things going on at the library. Regular story time will be every Wednesday at 10 a.m. This week we'll be learning about September. Saturday story time will be on the 23rd at 10 a.m. That one will be about campfire fun for the kids. This month, on Mondays and Tuesdays, starting on the 18th, we have someone named Jonna Cannon who will be teaching how to use the Excel program. So if you don't know how to use Excel, you're welcome to come to the library and learn. If you have no idea how to set up an email address, She can also teach that. On Tuesdays, she'll be teaching an intermediate course about Excel. So if you want, come on down, give us a call. We'll put you on the list. Class size is limited. We do have laptops that you can use there, but we love to have you, and they are free. Next, on Friday the 29th, we have a special guest, 5:30 in the conference room. Dennis Bunch Jr. will be teaching self-reliance and emergency preparedness, so with winter coming up. On the 30th, we also have Paige Parker. She'll be discussing herbs and mushrooms found locally in the wild, and she'll teach us how to identify, prepare, process them, and we'll also demonstrate how to prepare a tincture. So give us a call, come by, we'd love to have you.
Have you got that posted on the door, Kelly?
I do.
So everybody can find it.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Yes, ma'am.
Excited.
Everybody, so we did receive an email, just some good news. We got an email from Squatch Valley Head Start after their event last month. They were very satisfied and happy with services that they received, and they are ready to book for 2024. So that's going to be finalized once their fiscal year renews in January. So we also have two really fun upcoming events at the Princess Theater on Saturday and Sunday, September 23rd and 24th. We're having the auditions for our talent show, the Princess Theater Got Talent. So the contestants have a chance to win $300 for first place, $200 for second place, and $100 for third place. And so this information, it is open to all talents, open to all ages as well. You don't have to sing. So any talent that you have that you think you want to show, come on to those auditions. Also, we have a viral comedian, DJ Pryor. He went viral a couple years ago with his son across social media. He's been viewed I think almost like 1 billion times across different platforms. And so he's doing a comedy event on September the 30th at the Princess Theater. And you guys will see both of these flyers posted up around town. It's also listed on our website and on the marquee as well. We heard that the fashion show went really well, the Soaring Fashion Show, and we do want to remind everyone that this event was under the city's management, and so any questions regarding that event can be directed to the city. And I also want to remind everyone that for events that are under 22 Visions management, our policies and procedures can be found on our website. We have all the information of how we handle our bookings. You can book online. All the information is on our website. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us about that. I do have a few questions. We received a phone call from about the Ultimate Oldies on November 11th. This wasn't booked under our management, and we haven't received any information about the arrangements as far as what the promoter is expecting or what the city's expecting. So if we could have some details about that, just so we can know how to handle it. And in addition to that, any event that the city of South Pittsburg is expecting to be hosted at the Princess Theater free of charge, if we can receive that communication from the city so that we can know what to do and what to expect. Otherwise, we'll handle the booking procedure, business as usual, and provide, run to quotes that ensures that city's going back, money's going back to the city. And the last question that I had was about the grant that we discussed at the last meeting. Was there any follow-up about that or anything that we needed to do, or where were we at with that grant?
I don't think I'm notified. Notifications will be going out this week.
Okay. That's for the 90,000.
No, this is for the Tennessee downtown, Tennessee downtown.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
But what about the 90,000 one that we talked about at the last meeting?
That's just been submitted.
That's just my.
Okay. Okay, I didn't know if we had gagged it or if we, okay. All right, so that was it for me. So we hope to see you guys at our event coming up, and thank you.
Parchment.
Just a couple updates here. The pool is
completed. We have filled in the pool tanks and over. We do appreciate that. And also, flag football season opener was this past weekend. East Ridge has been nice enough to give us double headers, so our teams will be able to play double headers in their off a week, and then they travel the next week and play other double headers. The trunk or treat flyer that's on the table, the date is set for that. That will be on Halloween, October 31st, from 6 to 8. The location we will be checking. We'll get down towards the stage.
That's my fault, I'm sorry, I just told him tonight after, Richard Rogers had reached out and wants to incorporate the hooch somehow with our trunk or treat, don't know what that entails, but, so we'll move ours down more towards the stage this year instead of where we regularly have it, so I don't really know the details, just found that out this week, so, sorry. All right, you have something you said?
Excuse me, I meant to ask you, I've noticed that you have the disc golf partly up, looks like maybe mostly?
Yes, ma'am, it's up. There's 2 holes with 6 tee boxes.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you.
I don't have any old business, but Billy has something.
It's just in relation to the new positions created. The board members may recall, I sent an email out on some municipal code provisions that need to be addressed because of the way assignments for code enforcement and animal control are set up right now under your municipal code. Moving forward, we'll need, as we'll obtain certifications and so forth that you're going to need for those additional positions, we're going to need to make some amendments to those ordinances so that everything is in compliance with your legal structure.
Okay.
It's not anything we need to do immediately, but over time, as those certifications are obtained, we'll need to do that.
Okay. What sort of time factor do you think is involved there?
Well, in the workshop, in the special call meeting, you all had when you, I guess, approved job descriptions. It's not for me to say. I think there was talk about 6 months to a year for him to obtain those certifications, which appears to be in line with what the National Organization for the Animal Control works with, and then the state codes facility over in the Nashville area for the code enforcement.
Do those classes cost money?
They're minimal expenses, and all of it can be done online.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's an online program.
Okay, your 2 citizens' comments. Ms. Carolyn Milhouse?
Bear with me a minute. I'm concerned about the policies and procedures for groups that use the Princess. I'm not trying to pick on the fashion show, but that's the one event that I went to recently that was not run by the Princess Theater. It was on the 26th. The stage curtains were closed. There was no activity on the stage except in front of the curtain. The aisles were used as a runway. The models walked down one aisle, up and across the stage, and back up the other aisle. There was one cordless mic for the entire event. I thought we had purchased 2 additional cordless mics. They were not available. They had to run the cordless mic back and forth from the back of the theater to the front to carry out their activities. I understand the Spark folks cleaned the trash containers which had not been lined properly with plastic bags. They were given a cleaning list, a copy of which I gave to you. It was given to Spark. It's on page 2 of the handout. It's a long list of all the things that I'm assuming the renter is supposed to do when they leave the building. Main theater, concession stand, bathrooms, conference rooms, sound booths. The maintenance of the bathrooms during the event evidently was not addressed by the management. When we had, years ago, when we ran the Princess, you've got to continually check your facilities and make sure they're in working order. Furthermore, I would like to see if any of you at this table, or you, or your husband, came to that event. Would you raise your hand? You are managing the Princess and you're not on site. That doesn't make sense. For the future, I also question the use of the marquee and the side billboards. Do we have access to those for our own events in addition to what the Princess is at? The final thing is, there was a Princess Advisory Board met one time in May. At that meeting, the advisory board was told the Princess needed $500,000 worth of additional equipment. There has been no meeting since that time. And I think that that information is posted on the website should be removed because it is a non-functioning board. Thank you.
They weren't managing the Princess.
Pardon?
They did not manage the Princess during the fashion show.
Well, who's in charge of the
The
building?
fashion show, that was the agreement, unless Spark wanted to pay the management company to manage, they had to clean and do everything on their own.
I guess I'm concerned about the cleaning. Is there
They
a
had to
cleaning staff that we could pay to have?
During the 150th, the city agreed to do that ourselves, to not involve
Okay.
Iran and Alexis. So that's on us, If it wasn't done, that's on us. Because we didn't pay their cleaning fees, or their fees for them to be there to do the lights and sound and all that. We agreed we would do it on our own.
I have to interject there, we did clean the theater after.
The theater was clean.
We
It was
did.
clean.
The city
But
paid.
prior to that, Mr. Duggar
He came down
the
after.
garbage cans and.
Yeah, the theater was cleaned up after.
But before,
Volunteers before the
Yeah.
other cleaning staff came in.
Then we also paid, the city also paid somebody to come in also and clean. So it was double clean.
Well, we have some outside groups coming in October, and I
We
don't
are
want to be
respon-
embarrassed
Well,
by a dirty
we're
fellow.
responsible. We're
Okay.
using it. We've asked Iran and Alexis not to manage it in that time, so we are responsible for that. It's
I want
us.
to clarify that too, Ms. Mayor, it's we as the 150th anniversary.
That's right. That's right.
We as the city of South
I
Pittsburgh,
understand
that was the 150th
Yes.
anniversary.
Yep, that's on us.
But there was no one on site to take care of any problems if they arose during the event.
We
That's my
agreed for
concern.
them not to be there. We agreed for them not to be there during our events. That was the agreement.
well, shouldn't somebody be in charge?
Well, Spark was. Our people, our local people were there. Beth was there the whole weekend. There was somebody there all weekend. So, and when Lee Singers come, I'm
Well, do
assuming.
they know where the toilet paper is?
Yes, in the closet, yes. I know the toilet paper's there. Go ahead, Ron.
Okay, I got a call this week, this past week, from a friend of mine who was with the Ultimate Oldies. His name is Jamie Harton. And he and I got to be pretty good friends when I was managing the theater. And he got an email from, I think, from the management group about what they want now. If they're out of county, it's like $2,500 or $2,700 a day to perform there. And he had a contract already with the city, and I guess my question is, are we going to honor his contract?
I got this Friday from you, sent it
Yeah.
to Billy, and yes, we will honor his contract, but therefore, we are gonna run into the same situation that we just run into with the fashion show. Who's gonna, is he does his own lights and sound, who's gonna clean, who's gonna pay for the clean
Well,
up
he
after?
could do, he said he'd do his own lights and sound. He don't have a problem with that, but
When we honor somebody's, you know, and he was booked before, and I said, Billy, you know, but we have to decide who's gonna sit there and be responsible when he's there, responsible for the Princess, for the cleaning after the event. I guess
I didn't email him, I just told him to give us the information. Go to our website, we get the information on what's going on. I didn't
That's a
send
lot,
him
no email.
anything. He didn't tell me anything.
Okay, well, what he just sent me a text or something.
Yeah,
with
no,
the-
no email.
Yeah, we didn't email.
Okay, okay. Well, anyway,
Put that on.
Yes, we will honor his performance. We just have to work out all these things that, you know.
and the next thing, about 4 years ago, I was at a Marion County, art, what was it we called it, Beth?
Arts Council.
Yeah,
Yeah, Arts Council.
Arts Council, and I talked to Wesley Brewer. Wesley was doing his plays at Lou's Chapel or some chapel up in Crossroads, and he did one at the high school. And I asked him, I said, would you like to come to the Princess Theater? We'd love to have you down there. And at that time, I thought, well, that'll help bring the communities together. Jasper, Whipple, you know. And now Wes has left that position that he was in then, and now he's the 4-H guy, and he's doing these things. Well, the new fees are going to prohibit Wes from doing anything. I mean, for his 3 days, the fees would be a little over $8,000. And he said, Ron, I'll lose thousands of dollars if I have to pay that kind of fee. So, you know, and he's local. If he was out of state, it'd be over 10,000. But so what? My question is, what are we going to do about that? I mean, these people can't pay that, and he's adding a lot to our community. I'm going to leave it in y'all's hands, of course, but I hate that Wes is not going to be able to put on his program. He packs the house every time every show. He packs the house, and that's good for our community. It's good for Steve Reno's. It's good for Hammers. It's good for the whole downtown. You know, I wish we could do something about that. But I guess you got your management team in place, so that's the way it is. I don't know. It's up to y'all.
In your own contract as the leasee of the theater with the city, because I came across that looking through old things, you never gave the Princess away. You charged for nonprofits.
Yeah, I sure did.
So that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. I charged. You know, Wes was a nonprofit, and he was $150 a day.
Is that what you charged him?
Yes.
For 3 months, 150 days. That's what
No,
that's what he used the last time. He used 3 months.
$150 per
day.
performance.
I'm talking
Yes.
about the time that was tied up. The theater was tied up.
We didn't charge him for practice now.
For 3
No,
months.
we did not charge him for practice.
Well, that was 3 months last year. It was, right, Samantha?
Yeah,
It
but
took 2.5 months at least, that the Princess could not be used because of their practice. Particularly in the last month, when they put all their stage things, their sets and all that in there, which prohibited anything from even being done on the weekend. So that doesn't work.
well, I think I have to beg to differ there. That is something the kids in this community, in these schools, look forward to every year, and it's right.
Oh, I agree with that, Mayor.
You know, so I mean, that's just part of the practice and the stage prep, so I'll have to disagree with them.
Well, I think we need to look into it and see what the requirements are now, because in the past, it has not taken 3 months being tied up.
He's always practiced for 3 months.
Oh, yeah.
It takes that long to put on production.
But not every weekend. The last month, every weekend was tied up because they had I understand it, they had the sets and such. I'm just saying we need to work together on this. Why don't we sit down and talk to them and see what is their schedule this year? Because what happened last year is not what happened the previous year.
And we did give our olive branch to Wesley. I texted him. I said, any way we can work things out to try to make this happen, let's talk to the mayor, let's talk to the city. So, about the prices and all that charging, I told him, let's meet, let's see how we can work this together, how it can benefit the city. So I want to make sure that is known that we told Wesley personally on a text message,
that he received, because he sent us a text back and told us some other things, and I'm not going to say that out here, but we did reach out to Wesley and say, hey, we're willing to work with you. You just need to let us know how we can make this happen. Let's talk to the city. Let's make sure that it benefits the city. Whatever we got to do.
They don't benefit us. Those don't, that benefits the whole county.
That's even better. So
it
we
does
did
bring
reach
money.
out.
Well, it does bring money when people come see Renos and eat.
Yeah.
But the kids,
But
I
we
mean.
basically said we're open. Yeah, we reached out. So we have not did anything but reached out and say how we can make it work. And we did our part. We did not, we just said we worked with them. We'll make sure that's on record. So we want the plays there.
Okay, I want to go through a couple of things. I was at the walkthrough with the city and the management company, and there was only one toilet mic. So that got lost before that. As far as the marquee goes, and I know there's some people who don't like this idea, but if we put in an electronic marquee, first of all, they're a lot less expensive than I thought they were, would be. Then not only could the city and the management company do their things, they could sell space to companies that want to advertise.
Yeah.
Now, this last thing there, I've only been here like 5 years, but the Princess Theater, first of all, is prior easy and less expensive than anywhere else for people to come. And a lot of people have used it. And it's going to be growing pains to try to make it into a business that makes money. Now, as far as theater, I've done theater. You don't go to where the theater's the actual theater to do your practices. You go there the week of the production, that's it. The only thing I could think of would be the Armory. It has a big enough space to where they could tape out.
That's fixing to be under renovation.
What?
The Armory's fixing to be under renovation for the rec center, so that's
Still
gonna
under
be out.
renovation.
Well, it's gonna be.
Oh, it hadn't even started yet.
So
Oh,
that's out. So, I don't know, maybe we could work out the schools, or I don't know, something, but.
Or, yeah, if there's a school auditorium, they, actually, I mean, we practiced where we didn't have the same size. It just kind of got weird when you all of a sudden you had to walk away and
Yeah.
We support the groups, no matter what. So hopefully we can work together.
Robin Roy?
Hi there. Commissioner Coleman, nice to meet your acquaintance. I wasn't for sure. I couldn't get back who our commission was. So, we bought property up on Washington Road, South Pittsburg Mountain, about 10 years ago, and we've been building up there. And we have had ongoing issues with the condition of the road. I've met with Mr. West a couple of years ago. I've called the county numerous times. According to the picture I have of our property map, we own 2 lots now. The city, both lots are within the city limits. And so we continually are dealing with just water flow. There is a ditch going down the side of the road, but it's grown up. It's full of trees, and so all the water stays on the road, and it cuts grooves into the road, and eventually it just makes its way onto our property, washing out our septic tank, our drain fields, our driveway. We've brought in gravel a couple of times trying to fix it ourselves, but it's just an ongoing thing. And because we're right at the city-county line, we get pulled back and forth on no one's responsible for it, and there's no funding, because of where it's at. We live all the way at the end of Ralston Town Road where it meets Pittsburg. We're the last house there. But, I mean, I purposely bought a car that is all-wheel drive because I knew the road was going to be bad. But I didn't know the road was going to be bad to the point where it's damaging my muffler, and it's just wear and tear on our cars, broken windows from gravel coming off. I mean, that's because we're close to the road, but I mean, what can we do to get this remedied? From our house down past our neighbors, yesterday, it's constantly just raining trenches, while the ditch sits on the side full of trees and, not channeling the water. And, if we could get it graded where it's not leaning toward our property would be fantastic, but, I just don't know where to go to get help and to get
If
renovated.
I can't interject, I don't know why I talk this, but sometimes I don't talk with the next, because it's been an ongoing problem for about 5 years now. So, what I see as the problem, we don't want the road paved or anything, we just need some additional gravel bar up there to be smoothed out. And it's not happening. People hit our, throwing gravel up to our camper that was sitting in our driveway and busted our window. Not, they didn't physically throw it, but just driving up a road that's not maintained. So, that being said, we'd like to see it get addressed, because it's been an ongoing issue. It's washed our septic tank out and cost us money,
Thank you.
Let me comment on that, a couple of things there, and you all won't necessarily know this, but the history of Rawsontown Road is it went on past your property and actually connects to the state highway 156 in the county outside the city limits. I've actually been working with county road superintendent, wearing my county attorney hat, not the city attorney hat, over the last couple of months. Some of the other property owners up there have asked the history of that old county portion of Rawsontown Road. The road was never actually abandoned by the county and the county commission. It was simply closed. There was some slide problems with the state highway, and there were no houses up there. And so the county commission made a decision a number of years ago to simply close the road and no longer maintain it. It has been reopened and maintained a couple of times in recent years when Rawsontown Road was damaged from some severe flooding and narrowed down to one lane. And then maybe it's been closed for a short period of time when they had to do some repair work. So the people have an alternate way in and out. So the county road superintendent is looking again at reopening that old closed portion so that you could go out that way and connect to 156.
May I interject? Sure. Okay, I've spoken with the county road commissioner,
right,
and he said that you told him that you couldn't work on it.
No, I told him the opposite.
That was what he said. Now, the road is open, and it's the only emergency way off the mountain on that side.
Right.
So we get a lot of traffic when the road closes from a tree falling or an accident, which has happened rather recently several times.
Right.
So people come down the road. So it needs to be maintained, and it would not take a lot to do it, it's just not being done.
Right.
It is open though. When we first bought the property, you're right, it was closed, it was gated up.
Right, there was a gate.
And then a couple of years ago, they opened it back up. And since then, it has been an ongoing issue.
Well, what my wife's tapping my knee, but I'm gonna tell you, what makes me mad is you let everybody in the whole city drive up there, and that's fine, and it gives them a quick way to get up to the top of the mountain, but the road's tore up and nobody's maintaining it. So if y'all could just drop some gravel on it and squish it around, it would be better than nothing.
What I would suggest is they've already agreed to bring Corey Pickett, the county road superintendent, in and have him give them some pricing on paving or making repair work on Prospect. While he's here, have him go up and look at the city portion of the street that would be the city's responsibility. One thing, you mentioned the drainage ditch or the area, that's full of trees or debris or what have you. It might be possible he could use his great all equipment to clear out that ditch, which he would legally be allowed to do on the city's behalf to improve the drainage situation, so you might not at least have those problems anymore.
So I'm sorry to cut you off, but if I may interject, so I can call him tomorrow, and they may be having some problems tomorrow, but I can call him this week and tell him that you said that it was okay for him to do that.
Yeah, he and I have talked about it many times, and there's actually paperwork.
He said he told him he couldn't do it.
Well, we've got to contact him about the other road that we're gonna pave, and Gene will address him with the city part. He can help with the city part.
Because there is a marker that dictates where the city ends, right there.
Correct.
At the end of the property.
Right, that's right.
Gene, you got that?
Yeah, I did. Corey,